Hello everyone. With this video I'm going to go in deep to explain how Kyverno works and how we can go to analyze objects which Kyverno analyzes. And to do that we must look which objects to write more cool policy and to understand how it works. So the main point, as I said in previous video when I tried to show webhooks, it is admission review kind which comes to Kyverno, and each time if we want to write cool policy or cluster policy rules, of course in Kyverno have two important kind. It is policy namespace scoped and cluster policy all namespace scopes. I will not go in deep how to install Kyverno. I will not try to explain which replica count we must use in our prod environment. You can find tons of information from official page of Kyverno. Myself read all this stuff from their official page. And to understand the language of the Kyverno, of course, the good point is Kyverno official page itself. So I want to explain the part. I wrote one operator, so cool part which I'm thinking it is just imagine you have Kubernetes cluster. Inside of Kubernetes cluster you deploy it, one deployment or Daemonset or stateful set, it doesn't matter. And each time when you go to read some environment variable from secret or config map, this secret key values will be injected to the deployment at the deployment container or Daemonset container at the first initialization time of the container. So what does it mean? If you will go to change environment variable inside of secret or config map, the container will not be informed and it will use old state of the key which it got it from first installation time. So Kyverno do that will help us because it can catch events from Kubernetes API server to do something inside of deployment or Daemonset, and do that it will help us. So my operator on the fly will write kind to inform Kyverno generate on the fly policy rule inside of namespace scope, which inside of this kind which I will bring with my operator to inform to look to which secret at the same time deployment or Daemonset to catch event and do anything to roll and restart deployment or Daemonset. So what does it mean? In case of secret key value will be changed, Kyverno will go to change some stuff inside of deployment and Daemonset. At this time, Kubernetes cluster will start to think something changed inside of kinds Kubernetes deployment or Daemonset. And do that, I must roll and restart Daemonset or deployment. I will show all the stuff. Let me switch to quickly to show the part. This part of operator which I wrote. This is custom resource definition of my operator. The main fields which you can see, three fields, important fields which comes to template JSON file. This is policy rule of Kyverno. On the fly I will change these parts to two functions I wrote there to catch version of Kyverno and Kubernetes cluster 2. And on the fly I will change values even from these objects. We can understand its variables which I will go to override there. So important part here inside of rules says when secret kind inside of Kubernetes cluster with this name, inside of present condition means inside of secret request operation will be equal to update. So what does it mean? As I said in previous video, the main point is admission review kind. Inside of admission review kind, I copied this manifest from Kubernetes official page. You can get it from internet too. Inside of request, we can search operation key. And operation value can be create, update, delete or connect. So in case of update, it doesn't mean, so update means if we go to edit secret, delete line, edit line, add new line, all these states means update event. So inside of secret will something changed. At this time, policy will start to think, okay, the condition matched, and in this case, I'm going to search target with this API version. Kind must be which comes from my operator. For example, if I will show you for Daemonset, just look at this, kind will be Daemonset. And name comes from there for Daemonset too, this name. the web secret, it is actually here will be placed a secret name which comes from my secret too. And from which namespace it will come. At this moment, if precondition matched and this target found, patch strategic match will go to object field spec template metadata annotations. I mean, for example, if I will open this Daemonset, we can see spec template metadata. Inside of metadata annotations, it will write with this style, like as Daemonset minus version or deployment minus version, and this part comes from admission review too. So for each kind inside of Kubernetes cluster have metadata resource version key, which with value generated on the fly dynamic numbers. I will show you these numbers too. So this object will be numbers of the secret at the time when update will be happened. And it will be placed inside of annotations, and at this time Kubernetes cluster will start to think, okay, something changed inside of deployment or Daemonset, and do that I must go to do rolling restart of each pod which works right now. So let me switch to operator itself quickly. It is kind which comes. Here you will find all information needed, I mean access to my operator and access at the same time Kyverno itself. And this is Docker file, which with this Docker file I prepared my image and injected to the deployment. I mean this deployment which works right now with this policy writer service account with access to the Kubernetes, of course. So this is variables which I defined. This is main entry point where code files works. By the name of the function we can understand what I am doing. In case of kind comes, I mean create, I'm going to use the same function for create or update, and even from function names from here we can understand what they do. It is initialization of the Kubernetes config file. I mean in case of course deployment which works Kubernetes cluster for my operator, it will be service account. It is get policy name from kind. It is version of the Kyverno Kubernetes. It's a place where JSON file will be loaded and replacing the place by source of the information, which I said before, where kind itself comes. So just imagine, it means please generate on the fly policy rule for Kyverno for Daemonset with this name, which this Daemonset uses this secret. At the same time, same thing for deployment. On the fly in this namespace for both of them, of course. The secret will be the same for this object to deployment, kind changed, and name of the deployment is web2. So I will close this part 2. Try to show you on the fly. If I will go left side, it's execution of the kubectl get pods inside of check Kyverno. We can see right now works deployments and Daemonset. In the downside, I'm reading log output of the operator which I wrote. Here, if I will try to, let me show the custom resource definition field for my operator. We have 3 fields, and short name for my kind PolVRI and long name policy writer. So if I will try to execute kubectl get policy writer inside of check Kyverno, nothing. If I will try to do policy for my policy writer, nothing, because I didn't apply anything. So if I will do kubectl apply for deployment and for Daemonset, so it's created even from log output. We can see it is created. Policy rules generated on the fly, and at the same time policy writer kinds based on source of this information, of course, generated this policy rules for Kyverno. So what does it mean? If I will go to edit secret, which both of objects kinds deployment and Daemonset looks with the name of secret, and try to delete some line, it doesn't matter, edit or add new key value. All of this stuff means event happened for update. So event happened, as we see Kyverno doing patch, which I will show right now with this resource version of the secret, and based on this patch, Kubernetes starts to think something changed and I must to do rolling restart for my deployment or Daemonset. So If I will do get secret inside of check Kyverno for the web secret and look at the resource version, I will copy this and place it to the file. It is the resource version of the secret. If I will do get Daemonset version, which patched with this Kyverno Policy rule, it's not important to us. At the same time, I must do for deployment. So as we see, resource version for deployment and Daemonset, which of course at the patch time applied same. But for secret right now it is different. It's because the resource version, when it is updated, we got it from secret and apply it to the deployment and Daemonset. If we remember this number, if we will do the same thing again the next time, it will be changed to this number, which we see here. If we do edit secret again, doesn't matter. Restart happens as we see. If we will go to deployment version, as we see, these numbers is the same. It's because when first time we changed, we got this number placed, and on the fly, when update happens, this resource version changed, and do that, it's going to get this number at each time when we will update it. So that's it actually for this video, which I tried to explain. In the next videos, I will try to explain cluster-based scopes and cluster policy rules, which we can write really more cool rules to achieve our goals. Thank you for watching. I hope it will be useful to all of us.